This was the first NBA franchise ever to draft an African-American player. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be continuing our series of the most successful sports franchises with a look at the Boston Celtics.
Oh, they're going to give the ball to Detroit. Bird steals it. Johnson, layup, Boston, 1 second left.
Founded in 1946, the Boston Celtics joined the Basketball Association of America before the creation of the National Basketball Association, or NBA. The team's founder was Walter A. Brown, who was also one of the originators of the famed Ice Capades. The Celtics have boasted some of the most memorable personalities in basketball, including Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, John Havlicek, Larry Bird, Red Auerbach, and Paul Pierce.
Pierce goes behind the back, and Pierce with a big finish. Great move by Paul Pierce, the 9-time All-Star, attacking the rim.
The team's early days were full of struggles, but that changed when Auerbach was brought on as coach in 1950. With Boston, Auerbach was given full control of the team. Auerbach's genius knew no boundaries, and he demonstrated this at the 1956 draft. Auerbach managed to pull off an unusual trade. He convinced Rochester to let coveted University of San Francisco center Bill Russell slide to number 2 in exchange for a performance by the sought-after Ice Capades in their hometown. In turn, Auerbach and the Celtics drafted Russell, and he became the cornerstone of the most dominating franchise ever. They won 11 championships in 13 years from 1957 to 1969. This included a whopping 8 in a row from 59 to 66, and this is the longest consecutive championship streak of any North American pro sports team. The 1970s were relatively uneventful, with the team only winning 2 championships under coach Tommy Heinsohn. Towards the end of the decade, the Celtics drafted junior Larry Bird of Indiana State with the 6th pick in the 1978 draft. After staying an extra year in college, Bird debuted for Boston during the 1979-80 season and served as a core for the team to build around.
Walton, who's been there before. Bird for 3. Who else but Larry Bird?
The Celtics ended up trading 2 draft choices to the Golden State Warriors in exchange for center Robert Parrish, as well as their first-round pick. That first-rounder ended up being the 3rd pick overall, and with that, the Celtics drafted University of Minnesota power forward Kevin McHale. These 3 superstar players were known as the Big Three, and they led the Celtics to win the championship in 1981, 1984, and 1986. That marked the 16th title in franchise history and an NBA record. In 1985, the Celtics met arch-rivals the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals. While the Celtics had previously dominated the Lakers in the postseason, this time LA took it. This was the first time the Lakers defeated the Celtics for a championship, and the only time the Celtics lost a championship at Boston Garden. Eventually, the Big Three retired. Auerbach, as general manager, secured the 2nd overall choice in the 1986 draft and picked up Maryland's Len Bias in the hope of keeping the franchise strong. Tragically, Bias died just 2 days later due to a drug overdose. Another promising player was taken from the team in his prime when Reggie Lewis died of a heart attack in 1993. These incidents foreshadowed the challenges the team faced over the next decade. However, by 1998, the franchise returned to prominence and dominance. They drafted Paul Pierce with the 10th overall pick and traded for a list of marquee players. Their supremacy culminated with the franchise's record 17th championship in the 2007-2008 season, led by the new Big Three, Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. The Boston Celtics' role in history isn't limited to their dominance on the court. When they signed Chuck Cooper in 1950, Boston became the first franchise to draft an African-American player. Then in 1964, the Celtics boasted the first squad to have an all-African-American starting lineup. Finally, after the 1965-66 season, when Auerbach retired as coach, Bill Russell took over and became the first black coach in the NBA. Today, the Celtics have relocated from the venerable Boston Garden and play their home games at the TD Garden. Their legacy is a dominant one, and the Boston Celtics have cemented their place in the history books as one of the winningest sports franchises of all time.
Here's Pierce. Oh, what a dunk by Paul Pierce!